586 straight attempts without throwing an interception at Lambeau came to an end in the first quarter, and not long after that, he threw his second INT of the game. The Packers defense picked him up, though, picking off Nick Foles 4 times, including one taken back for a TD in the Packers' 24-10 win over the Rams. Skip, you need your red pen because we need a grade here.
A blue pen.
Yeah. Play teacher for us.
Yes.
Grade Aaron Rodgers' performance yesterday.
Stephen A., you have trained me over the years to set my bar extraordinarily high for your bad man that is Aaron Rodgers. By far, according to you, the best quarterback in all the world.
In all the land.
Just talent-wise. I don't understand that definition.
Well, he doesn't have the numbers yet to sit there and eclipse the Tom Brady's.
But because he is the most gifted quarterback in all the land, all the world, all the galaxies.
Yeah, all the galaxies. I like that. Let's use that.
Okay. Because of that, I have to grade him on a really severe curve here, right?
I do.
So I'm going to give him a D as in dog. I'm not calling him a dog, but I'm just saying that he had kind of a doggy game by his standards. It's not disrespectful. It's just the God's truth. It's the God-awful truth is what it was. Because once again yesterday, and by the way, does Green Bay get to play every game at home? Do they have 16 home games? Every time I look up, he's playing at home. Doesn't it feel like that? They're home like the next 4 weeks. It's just like, well, what's the deal with them?
Write this down.
How does he pull that off?
Well, y'all can pull up the Green Bay Packers schedule on the screen to show how Skip lies to the American people on a daily basis.
So back to the grade. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers turns the ball over not once, twice. He turned the ball over 3 times. Obviously, he had a remarkable, all-time astonishing streak of going without interceptions at home. And he got a little bit of a bad break on a tip ball that turned into interception number 1. But then he threw interception number 2. And then, I don't know if we have this video handy, but he actually threw interception number 3 right into the breadbasket of Nick Fairley. Can we see this? And hits him right in the stomach. And, of course, what? Wow, it's right in your stomach. Oh, you could have run with it. Of course, Nick Fairley weighs 300 pounds, and he doesn't catch many footballs, and Aaron Rodgers threw it a little bit, put too much mustard on it, and poor Nick Fairley couldn't hang on to what should have been interception number 3. On the next play, Aaron Rodgers coughed the ball up, got stripped from behind. They recovered, and here they went. And somehow, Nick Foles, as I always say, he's not fool's gold, he's Foles gold. 4 interceptions and a QBR on a scale of 0 to 100 of 2. He had a 2 QBR yesterday.
He was off yesterday.
And by the way, they also missed 3 field goals yesterday at Lambeau. Greg the leg. He was, I don't know what happened to the leg.
How do you guys come up with this stuff?
I don't know, but seriously, he missed 3 field goals, and somehow the Rams hung in this game against the vaunted Green Bay Packers, who have a very good defense. They're all over the field. Clay Matthews just creates havoc on every other play. So my point is, by his way up here standards, because I'm grading him as if he's by far the most gifted player in the game, that was a pathetic performance by your man Aaron Rodgers in yet another home game.
It certainly was far from spectacular. There is no denying that. He did throw 2 touchdown passes. He did throw for 241 yards. His premier running back, Eddie Lacy, only ran for 27 yards.
Yeah, he led the team in rushing.
And he led the team in rushing, so you have to take those things into consideration. There still is no Jordy Nelson. He is throwing to receivers like Ty Montgomery and James Jones.
I think Ty Montgomery's a young stud.
He can play. He can play, but he's not there yet. The fact of the matter is, there's a lot working against Aaron Rodgers. He just seems to make it look easy. Here's my problem with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers right now. Be clear, I'm no Green Bay Packers fan. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. I think he's the best in the galaxy. Okay, he's the best on the planet Earth at quarterback. Talent-wise, he is just that elite. What I will say to you, however, is that I do think they tend to play down to competition. I do think that, you know, the stiffer the competition, they play down to it. When he needs to score points to win, he does just enough. If he doesn't need to score that many points, you see errors made. Now, the first interception of Laurinaitis got tipped off, and he ultimately picked it off. The second one was questionable because it touched the ground, but the bottom line is an interception. That's what it counted as. You can't get stripped for a fumble either. You got to protect the football, which he did not do. So all of those things he's definitely accountable for. But in the end, the reason why it was an awful performance is because we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're not talking, if this was a Jay Cutler performance, he deserves an A, because we ain't used to seeing that from him. But because it's Aaron Rodgers, it would be a D performance, because
you're going to give him a D?
Yes, I am.
Wait, Stephen A. Smith just said Aaron Rodgers gets a D?
Yes, I am.
D is in dog.
Yes, I am. No, not a D as in dog, just a D.
You need to read the positive dog.
Just a D, just a D, because I expect more from the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now, in Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
And
Groundbreaking.
he came up significantly short. Let me tell you who will get an A grade from me. Credit to you. This dude, Todd Gurley,
I knew
looks
it, though.
special.
Yeah.
He looks special. Now, again, I knew he was special coming out of Georgia. My question about him is still a question.
I know.
His durability. I never once questioned the great abilities of Todd Gurley. What I question is his durability, and speaking of that, my heart goes out to Nick Chubb. That was a Georgia. That was a nasty, ugly
It sounded
knee
like
injury.
it wasn't quite as bad as it could have been.
They're saying it's pretty. He's out for the year. I can tell you that much. And that looks bad. It seems to happen to these guys at Georgia recently. I wish him nothing but the best. But Gurley, I'm just hoping that he can stay healthy, because if he can stay healthy, Fisher's doing some good things in St. Louis, although it appears that Nick Foles is regressing.
You're exactly right. But Todd Gurley is rising. And again, God bless him. If he can stay healthy, because he's going to take a lot of punishment, because that's how he does it. But even yesterday, he carried 30 times for 159 yards, and in the second half, because I must admit I was rooting for the Rams against his bad man, I was saying just give it to him again and again and again, because it looked like Green Bay was getting worn down against Gurley, like they were getting tired of trying to tackle him, and he was turning 1 yard into 3 yards and 3 yards into 5 yards.
And not only that, they were applying so much pressure to Nick Foles.
They were.
I mean, you know, 2 of the interceptions he threw was inside their 10-yard line, if I remember correctly. So I'm just looking at it from the perspective that, you know, there's no excuse not to give Gurley the ball, because he's showing you that it'll pay dividends, where your quarterback is showing the complete opposite.
Right. So back to our Seattle discussion. Now we see what Arizona is, and we see what the Rams are, who especially play well against the teams in the division, as we've seen what they've already done to Arizona and Seattle. So this division is starting to tighten up, right? It's going to be a battle.
Absolutely.
No question. You know what other team is tightening up? The Chicago Bears. Jay Cutler rallying.
Cuddy.
Cuddy to victory. So, Stephen A. ready to apologize to Cutler?
That was the game of the day yesterday.
Find out after the break.
First Take is brought to you by Ford Service. When your Ford needs service, you need the specialists at Ford. And Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tonight, it's the Week 5 edition of Monday Night Football at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Steelers take on the Chargers. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 on ESPN. So you just heard it. Michael Vick and Phillip Rivers tonight at Qualcomm. Both teams are 2-2. Stephen A., you just spent some time in Pittsburgh around this organization, sat down with Mike Tomlin. That interview will air on Countdown. What do you expect from Vick tonight?
Well, I expect him to do some damage, because I expect him to feed Antonio Brown the ball, but primarily Le'Veon Bell should see a lot of action. You can run on the Chargers. You can expose their secondary to some degree. Remember, Martavis Bryant comes back. He's going to be playing in this game along with...
I don't think he's going to play tonight.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I know he's eligible to play. You got Brown, you got Bryant, you got Wheaton, you got Miller. I'm just looking at all of these guys, and I'm saying, look, and Todd Haley, who I also spoke to, sat up there. Very nice to me, by the way. He's very nice. But he spoke to me, and he said, look, we got a week under Vic's belt. We expect good things to happen this weekend. I believe them against these Chargers. Plus, the weather conditions should be good.
So you like Pittsburgh to pull this one out? I am, too. And I'm with you. You got to feed it to Le'Veon and to D'Angelo Williams and play defense, even though their defense is a little beat up. And I think they can beat a reeling Chargers team on a big Monday night stage, in which Michael Vick has always played pretty well under the brightest lights, and I think he'll play pretty well, but you cannot put the game in his hands on fourth down plays at the end of the game.
And no excuse to, because San Diego's ranked 28th against the run. You should, Le'Veon Bell should see the
Both of you taking Steelers on the road with Vic. Can I get a score?
Low scoring. I got low scoring, like 2017.
I'm picking the Steelers 31-23.
All right.
A lot of points.
Good stuff today, guys. We got a lot that was left on the cutting room floor, though, to get into tomorrow. College football.
It's the cutting room.
The cutting room.
Yeah.
See you guys tomorrow.